From the moment you are born, you only know what someone has taught you. So it's understandable if you suck at first. Just realize that life rewards the people who could suck at something the longest. And I'm not even saying you're good now, or you'll ever be good, or perfect, or whatever that level is you're trying to reach. But it's around you. You feel it. It's all over the place. And then things just start running rampant, and you start losing focus of everything, days, time. I mean, your concept of time is so screwed that days go by like this. And then as soon as you do realize what's actually happening to you, you cancel out. You do something else. I tell you to do what you can't. Get out there and do it. Because the truth is, nothing is going to change. Only you will. One day. When you finally decide that your life is worth living. Because you're going to be told so many things in life. You're going to get told that you can't do things. You can't move to that city. You can't do that. You can't have that career. That isn't a job. Sometimes you got to get out there and you got to try your best to make your own path. Because if you follow the crowd, you will only ever get as far as the crowd. Let that sink in. The only way to truly find yourself is to get out there and get lost. Okay, and don't try either, because trying is just an excuse. And I know this might be hard to hear, because I'm trying a lot of things myself. I'm trying to do the right stuff. I'm trying to slow down with that stuff. He's trying to cut back or whatever. If you're trying, you're actively making an excuse. Oh, I went to the club. Oh, I didn't mean to spend that much. I'm trying to cut back. You're trying to. You're trying to? Like the great one once said, you either do or you do not. Okay, trying is just some shit that we made up. Okay? And that is the actual reality. Because when you're trying to do something, you're not actually getting it done. In the back of your head, this is just an attempt. And you don't have to give 110%. Even when you don't have 110% to give, you still give what you have anyway. Because even when the gas tank is on E and you have to get outside and you have to push the car, that is doing what you cannot. Because that's not expected of you. You're not expected to run the mile. You're not expected to do the marathon. Don't think your life is a race. Because once you reach the end, you'll realize that there never was an end. That there never was a place. That success never had a full, capable being of doing and seeing everything. And then eventually, you find yourself in a spot where, again, it doesn't make any sense. But remember this, you can always come back. Oh, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should take that risk. You could always come back. It's not going anywhere. Sometimes you just want to go home. But your home isn't a home. Not anymore. You realize that it was never a place. In fact, it was a feeling. And you are never going to get that feeling back, because it is impossible to be as happy as you were when you were a kid, because you're not a kid anymore. We're growing up. We're seeing the world the way it truly is. And maybe you're afraid. Maybe you don't know why you're here. And honestly, it really doesn't matter why you're here. Just that you are. Realize that nobody changes the world alone, and nobody really changes the world at all. So if you get out there and realize that none of this truly matters, and that's not a bad thing, allow that to enlighten you. Because the things that you do today, right now, as 1,000x focused you are on them, and as much as you think that they are going to matter in the long run, they're not. So get out there. Be yourself. Your unique, different, individual self. Because there will only ever be one you. There's never going to be another you born onto whatever this is. And sometimes you feel you didn't ask to be this way. And that's fine. You didn't ask to be this way. You didn't ask to go through all of that trauma. You didn't ask for that person to do that to you. You didn't know. And that's completely okay. Because it doesn't matter what has happened to you. It matters how you react to it. And it's not necessarily your fault. But you do need to take responsibility for it. As hard as it may seem, even if you have to throw blood, sweat, tears, again and again and again inside of it to fill your tank, then do it. Because I'll tell you one thing in my life, every single thing that I thought I couldn't do, I realized slowly that I could. And you'll also realize that there's going to be demons in the dark. And you're going to hold up your lantern. You're going to hold your lantern up high. And people are going to attach. People are going to feed off that light. Your light. Realize that even when you are helping others, you still need to help yourself. I'll use the analogy of on the plane, if the oxygen masks come down, you don't help others put it on first. You put your own oxygen mask on first. Then you go out there and help others. Also, if you can't tell, it's very hot for some odd reason. The bipolarness of everything, hot, cold, good, bad, hurting, not hurting. You start to realize that you can't actually feel it anymore because you're in the flow. You're in that state. But you're not too sure how it's going to turn out. Because you've tried for so long. You ask yourself, you wonder to yourself, will it ever be different? You want to be normal, but then you realize that normal is not actually normal. It is what society has deemed as society deemed it as normal. So now it's normal. And you just have to accept it all. You just have to accept everything. We've said this before. When you're in denial about something, someone left you, someone passed away, you left your job, fired you, someone ghosted you. When you're in denial in life, it's kind of like holding your breath. Okay, eventually, at some point down the road, while you're continuing to roll your snowball through the snow, you shove it deep down into your stomach where nobody could see it except you. Because who is aware that you are thinking in the first place? You are. You're trapped in your own head. Trapped with your own thoughts. You have battled thoughts that you could never say out loud. So it is impossible, truly impossible, for not only others to not be able to see what's going on. It's weird how we can only see the outside of a person when truly so much happens on the inside. And there's no words, there is no action, there is no thing that we could do to be able to express that. Because experience is infinite. You could experience quite literally anything. And the one thing that I've learned about life is miracles do happen. And even when you think you can't, well, you start to realize that you can. You know, because even at the end of life, you're not going to sit there, you're not going to think, oh, I wish I read more comments on Instagram, or I wish I seen more self-improvement videos on YouTube. You're probably going to wish that you did the things you wanted to do, said what you wanted to say. But it's all over now. You know, it's actually pretty depressing to think that probably somebody in their deathbed right now is wishing that they could be in your position. You know, because truly health is wealth. You know, if you can't bend down, if you can't pick it up, well, how are you supposed to do any of it? You know, next time you bend down and pick something up, be grateful that you could. You know, and that might sound a little, oh, like, be grateful that I could bend down like I want to be, but, like, why should I be, you know, because, like, it's so, now, you'll see why. Okay, you'll see why. You know, we want everything to be so perfect in our lives, but we haven't even lived our lives yet. You know, we want everything to be perfect, fantastic, amazing, but we haven't even given life the chance to bless us, you know? To conclude the video, do what you can't. You know, and truly, do it afraid. Do it lonely. Do it anxious. Do it sad. Do it angry. Do it anyway. Because why not? Do you know about eternity? Eternity is forever. But how long is forever? That's something I still can never understand. You know, but if eternity is forever, then that basically confirms that my existence right now is just a blip in time. A blink. A single frame in a movie that never ends. You know, I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One day, your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. Get out there. Stay positive. And I know you noticed the new seats. Me and my sister just installed these puppies yesterday. And, well, this might be one of the last videos I make as a teenager. I mean, today is seriously my last day as a teenager, turning 20. It's kind of crazy. It's all kind of surreal. I'm going to talk about it more throughout whatever, but it's just weird. You know, it's going into a new decade, you know, leaving, you know, shutting the door, you know, realizing that I didn't even shut the door. Life shut it for me. That's a whole nother thing for another time, I guess. Thank you for watching the entire video. I appreciate you. And I want to let you know that this community and just you specifically have just really just changed my entire existence and just how I see the world and how I see life. You know, so if there's one last thing I could tell you, you know, it's just stay positive. You know, because sometimes life sucks. But it can be pretty cool too. You know, not all bad.